everybody, to a new episode of Inner Growth Lounge, where we talk about leadership and self discovery matters. Today, I'm very excited that I have here with me my wonderful Kay McCready. And we have a lot to talk about, Kay. Welcome.
Hi. We certainly do have a lot to talk about, and it's
Yes.
absolutely incredible to be here in your Inner Growth Lounge. I'm really excited to be here and share with your audience today. So thank you for inviting me.
Yes. So, Kay is a highly skilled emotional resilience coach, a trauma practitioner, a global speaker, and a ninth deep breathwork facilitator. As the founder of Kay McCready Coaching and co-founder of the Beat Global Academy Limited, she has created a transformative platform dedicated to empowering women who've weathered life storms, faced trauma, and navigated adversity. With her great passion for uplifting individuals, Kane guides them in acknowledging, understanding, and processing their emotions. This journey not only reignites their inner spark, but also sets them on a path to a life filled with emotional balance, fulfillment, and genuine liberation. And, you know, through your description, it's like I want to ask you so many things about the 9D breathwork, about the emotional resilience. And what got you here from a police officer becoming an emotional resilience coach? So tell me all about it, Kate.
Yes, it's a bit of a transition, isn't it, from a police officer, which I was for 28 years, to now becoming, an emotional resilience coach, trauma practitioner, 90 breathwork facilitator, speaker, all of those incredible, amazing things that I now do. And it was a long journey, those 28 years in the police force, and I experienced lots of trauma, lots of other people's trauma, and also my own personal trauma as well. And in that time, it took me on a really quite a dark journey at times where, I was suffering for 10 years with mental health challenges, with depression, with all sorts of things that, kept me in a very dark place. And when I actually took ownership of that, because it's very easy to live in that place of lack, to live in that place of depression, to live in that place of being a victim and wanting other people to, make you better or help you in some way. It was actually when I realized that it was down to me to actually take ownership, because nobody else was going to do that for me. I looked for other people to do it. It wasn't ever going to happen. So when I eventually took ownership of that and I started learning different techniques, different strategies, I became educated, qualified, and, then looked at different specialisms in which I could, bring all of those things together, that actually I started to make a massive difference in my life. And what happened was, when I was a police officer, that was recognized within the organization, and the organization actually put me through a trauma practitioner's course, a life coaching course, and I started coaching and helping other police officers who were also struggling as well. And because I knew the impact that I was making for those people, I knew that was something I had to pursue. I knew it was something that lit me up inside to actually help other people who've experienced trauma or, significant life challenges, where they want to feel connected, they want to feel safe, they want to feel liberated. And because I was able to do that, I knew that I was in my flow doing that. And that's why I ended up transitioning. It took me 5 years before I retired to actually build my business up to what it is now, to be able to, help so many other people. So it's just been a really, really rewarding journey. And I remember when I was struggling, I actually wanted some techniques. I wanted some strategies. It was okay going to counselling, and I do believe there is a place for counselling. But when I was going for counselling, it was keeping me stuck in that place because I was repeating the same things over and over again. And I wanted something different to that. I wanted to move forward, and I didn't know where to move forward. Nobody provided me with anything to help me move forward, and I remained stuck for such a long time. And now I've got all of those techniques and strategies. I can shorten that gap for the people so they don't have to stay in that place for 10 years, which is just incredible. And like I say, so so rewarding.
Yeah.
So there wasn't, it wasn't a pivotal moment. It was a very long journey. But that journey
Sometimes it's
was,
the suffering, though, and it is suffering that you go through, and when you realize that you are able to change it, then you want to share it with the world. You want to help other people as well, not to feel so stuck. And also about the emotional resilience, everybody is saying, you have to be strong, but you don't know how to do that, because when you're in a bad place, you cannot be strong, and everybody is telling you, you're strong or you have to be strong, and you don't know exactly how to be resilient through the moments that you're not feeling powerful. You feel weak, you feel lost. So how do you do it? How do you help somebody to start building the emotional resilience?
Yeah, I think what's really important is, first of all, to acknowledge what is going on for you, because I lived in a place of denial for so long. And a lot of the women that I work with now, and especially professional women, what I find is that professional women have this image that they've got everything together, that life's wonderful, that they're dealing with, whether it be family, business, all of those are the responsibilities that they have. And they appear on the face of it, and especially with social media, to have everything together, to be this incredible, amazing leader in business, leader in the family, leader in, the relationship. But actually, underneath, that's far from the truth. So I think the most important thing for people is to actually own what's going on for them, to acknowledge what's going on for them, to acknowledge how they are feeling, and to take ownership of that. It's always the first step. Sometimes people might not even recognize that, because they're so, they've lived in this place of pretense for such a long time, because there's an expectation that we should have it all together. And when people live in that place, they start to believe that themselves, but actually underneath, it's very, very different. So for me, it's about, being able to be honest with yourself, first of all, and, to know that it is not a weakness in any way, shape or form to ask for help and to speak out and to say, things aren't okay. I do want some help. I do want to go in a different direction. I do want to take ownership for my health, my well-being, my longevity.
I
When
think
we
you're touching a very important, a very important thing there, because with women, we see it with men as well, but with women, it's like we expect to do everything and do everything well. And when something doesn't go wrong, we feel like we failed, because this prototype that we have been given, it was a woman that could do everything. And but what they had to do before was much less than what we have to do now as women. So what you're saying about asking for help, and also acknowledging that it's fine not to be well. It's okay. It's not such a bad thing to feel weak, to feel like you cannot handle things and you need help, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So
And
yeah, sorry, we had a delay here. And so what happens when you help them acknowledge, or they realize that they're in this position? How do you go about that? What's important to know about the emotional resilience?
yeah,
And
what's
what is
important?
it? Because what is it as well? I mean, what is the emotional resilience?
Yeah, because quite often, the word resilience is thrown around like wildfire. And I used to think that resilience was all about just getting back up after every challenge. You get back up and you carry on. But actually, what I've come to realize is that, emotional resilience is about, we've got to do that through well-being. We've got to do that. We've got to become emotionally resilient by looking after ourselves and taking care of ourselves. It's not about getting back up and continuing to push on after every single challenge, because that's not reality. The reality is we face challenges, we feel hurt inside. We build up those walls because we don't want to feel hurt. We don't want to feel the pain. We don't want to feel lonely. We don't want to feel isolated, angry, frustrated. We don't want to feel hurt. We don't want to feel any of those things. And quite often what people do is they will just disconnect from that because they don't want to feel it. So the walls come up, they disconnect, especially the women that I work with. They become very, very busy. So they become doers. I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that and I'm going to do the rest of it. And I'm going to do all these things, because when I'm doing those things, I don't have to sit with myself and I don't have to feel what's going on for me, because it's easier to keep busy than to sit and to acknowledge how I'm actually feeling. And quite often they might not know because they've been so disconnected for so long. So one of the first things I always get people to do is learn how to connect, learn how to feel, learn how to acknowledge what it is that's going on for you, because more often than not, all of the things that are going on for us are in here. They're in our head. You know, when we start to connect with our bodies are incredible. They're amazing. These are the vessels that are going to carry us throughout life. And we need to look after them, but we need to listen to our body. We need to acknowledge where those emotions are, what's going on for us, what are the physical symptoms, what are the physical aspects of this, and get out of our head and into our body. And it is difficult for people if they've been disconnected as a coping mechanism for so long. But I teach people how to do that and how to connect.
Do you have a technique or a way that somebody who is watching us now could use to start acknowledging their emotions? And then, of course, move forward and dig deeper in you helping them to do that, because it's okay to start and try by ourselves. But at some point, we have to understand if there is time to ask for help. So I always like to give our audience some kind of a way or advice or tool so they can use, but also to get to the point and understand if, now I need help to go further down this line. So what would you suggest as a first step in order to, what is this acknowledging feelings? How do you do it?
Yeah, I mean, I've got so many ways, but I can give you a couple. So one of them I always get my clients to do from the very, very beginning is to actually just check in 3 times a day. And I get people to actually set an alarm on their phone. So they might do that for a week and then they change the time on their alarm. So it's not the same time every week. 3 times a day, when the alarm goes off, just take a couple of minutes to sit and ask yourself, what is actually going on for you right now? How are you feeling? Do you, what words do you use to describe that? Is it amazing? Is it terrible? Is it lonely? Is it happy? What is it that you're actually feeling? And if you do that, even just for a week, and you actually record those down in a notebook and a journal, you'll actually start to see a pattern. So from that pattern, is it, you wake up on a morning and as soon as you wake up, you feel dread. So ask yourself then, well, why do you feel dread? Is it because, first of all, you didn't have a good night's sleep? Is it because you've got a meeting to go to today, or you're seeing somebody today that you know that your energy is not good around? Is it that you've got a business meeting? Is it work? What actually is it that's making you feel like that? Is it because first thing on the morning, the first thing that you do instead of get yourself into a good place is you check your mobile phone and you're distracted by the outside world, and that has an impact on you? Once you start to check in with how you're feeling 3 times a day, and if you can 3 different times every day, then you start to see patterns of what's actually going on for you, because more often than not, we are impacted by what's going on outside of ourselves. So whether it be work, relationships, the news, people we surround ourselves with, daily life, whatever that may be, and that can really impact how we feel. So the first key is always awareness. Check in 3 times a day, and then you might start to see a pattern of behavior at the end of that as to, well, every Monday morning I feel terrible because I've got to go to work. Once you identify these patterns, then you can ask yourself, well, what's within my control? What's within my control that I can change? Is it that instead of picking my mobile phone up first thing in the morning, that I might do some breath work? Is it that, I'm going to a job that I don't like? Is that the fact that you have to change your mindset around the reasons that you're going to work in the first place? You know, there's lots of different things you can do, but it's just about being able to identify, first of all, how you are actually feeling. And the only way you can do that is to stop and ask yourself the question, what am I feeling? And then look at the reasons as to why. And then another really good thing, you know, for people to actually be able to connect with their feelings, because quite often people don't even know how to do that, is, you know, if anybody's listening to this now, what I would suggest is just to, you know, close your eyes just for a minute and ask yourself in your head, think of a time when I was really, really happy, when I was giggling, when I was laughing out loud. Okay. So if your listeners are listening to this now, close your eyes and bring to your mind a memory, could be yesterday, could be 10 years ago, when you were laughing out loud. Okay. And then when you think of that memory, try and bring it to life as much as you can. Try and think about what was being said, you know, who was there, where you were, bring the colors, bring the sounds, bring all of those incredible things into it. And once you've got that and you really, really sort of fire that image up in your head, check in with your body and ask yourself what's going on right now. Because right now, what you might find is that you might have sensations in your body. You might have, like, you know, little fluttery bits going on in your heart, or, you know, your shoulders might have relaxed a bit more, or your stomach might be churning a little bit, or, you know, you've probably got a smile on your face right now if you're actually doing this process. And when you do these things, that's actually the emotion that's going on in your body. The memory that took you there is just a thought in your head, but actually the emotion is the physical changes in your body. And if you can practice just doing that simple exercise every day with a happy memory, a memory when you were laughing out loud, if you do that every day, you'll learn to connect, and you can bring that happiness into your body at any given moment of the day, any moment of the day.
That's amazing. And actually, they're not hard to do. It's like learning a new language. You have to repeat until you get better at it. And you said something very, I find it very, very important about the resilience that you referred before. You said it's not about getting there and being strong. It's about caring for yourself along the way. So when you get to a difficult place, because we all get to difficult places, right? You cannot avoid it. If you have taken care of yourself, then you are more resilient through the difficult times, right?
Yeah. What normally happens is people in general don't necessarily look after themselves that well emotionally, mentally, until something happens. That's just what happens to us. You know, we wait until we've been in a position where we've had an emotional challenge, an emotional struggle, and then we feel really, really bad. And then we look at ways to recover from that and to rebuild our emotional strength. But actually, if you start to do these things before you meet those challenges, so if you make yourself and your mental health and your well-being, and, you know, not just the things that you consume in your mind, but the things that you consume in your body as well. You know, you've got to look at everything. What are you putting in to get an output? What's the input for the output that you want? And if that input isn't good, whether that be social media, food, negative energy, doesn't matter what it is, if all of that's not good for you, then the outcome is going to be not good. So you have to care for yourself. You have to look after yourself. And if you build that into your lifestyle, when the challenges come along, because like you say, Christiana, the challenges will come along in life, you are much more capable of being able to deal with those challenges. It doesn't mean to say that you won't have an emotional reaction. It doesn't mean you won't feel hurt or angry or lonely. But what it means is that you will be able to handle those. You'll be able to process those emotions and those feelings and move forward quicker than you would have been able to if you didn't have that resilience in the first place.
Yeah, it's like the body. I mean, if you take care of what you eat and exercising, the body is in a better position to, you know, fight a flu or an illness or whatever, right?
Yeah, our bodies are incredible. And like I say, everything that you put into your body, whether that's into your mind or to your physical body, I take supplements every day. I eat a healthy diet every day. I do breath work every day. I go to the gym 3 times a week. I do cold water therapy. I dance 3 times a week. I do so many things for me, and I prioritize those things now, but I never used to. But in the last 5 years, that is my routine. And that's why I'm a leader in my field. That's why I'm incredible at what I do. And I bring amazing energy, because every day, the most important thing that I do is to look after me first before I allow any of the outside world to access me and my energy.
Yeah. Filling your cup, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, Kay, where can the people that are watching us find you, and what would you like them to know about what you're doing? I mean, before we go, something you want to share, and of course, how to contact you.
Yeah, I'm on all platforms, all social media. You can find me on LinkedIn. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Instagram, YouTube. I'm on most platforms, to be fair. And I am going to be speaking at the Women's Thrive Summit in March 2024. So that's going to be incredible. I'm going to be doing, a talk there, which is called Empowering Your Inner Warrior. And I will actually be bringing something called the Sun Technique, which is my signature technique, to that. So if people do want to sign up to that, they will get access to that technique there. I've just launched a new business, a new company called Beat Global Academy, which is all about mindset mastery, healthy longevity, and emotional resilience all together under one platform. So that's going to be absolutely incredible as well. So people can access me in so many different ways. But, what I would say to your listeners is that, if you are looking to grow your inner strength, looking to grow your inner resilience, looking to improve your life in some way, so that you can live an incredible life and feel amazing. Because if anybody tells you that life isn't supposed to be good, or it's supposed to be a challenge, or it's supposed to be a struggle, don't listen to them. Life is supposed to be felt. Life is supposed to be good. Life is supposed to be amazing. And it can be, if you take ownership of that. And if you want help along the way, then just reach out to me.
I love it. I love it. Kay, thank you so much for being here and sharing this amazing information with us. And of course, we will be co-speaking at the Women's Thrive Summit, and we invite everybody to join. It is such an amazing experience, and all the speakers there are remarkable. And of course, Kay, I look forward to see your technique that you're going to talk about. It's the sun technique.
Yes.
You call it the sun technique. Wow.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Kay. And I shall see you all next week in the next episode. Bye-bye, Kay. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.